Clover Island, our home for the next few days. I'm not sure what possessed me as a grown man to go to a kid's theme park for my vacation, but who knows, it could be fun. A nice relaxing weekend is just what I need. You're not quite sure what you're seeing here. I mean, alright, you do know what's in front of your eyes, but it's difficult to put into perspective. You've just gotten off of a lengthy ride across the water, and while your brain might be a little scrambled from the sway, you still know where you are. The near-obnoxious theming around every corner won't let you forget. You've arrived at the theme park known as Clover's Island. It is, exactly as the name implies, an island fully dedicated to a single amusement park. The mainland is just too densely wooded to make room for this kind of project, at least, not without cutting into the valuable hunting land. Because of this, the park's existence is a miracle on several levels. There's no doubt that even with the low price of admission and the struggles of their location, they've made their money back tenfold. None of that means Clover's Island is a good theme park, mind you. It just means that there's nothing like it for miles around, and if you've got the money for a vacation, but not for a plane ticket, your options are rather limited. Now, you know they might have money, but certainly not from what you're seeing. Instead of a receptionist, you're greeted by what looks to be a desktop computer. The fact that it's clearly delighted to see you is both comforting in the sense that you're sure you'll get some good help, and deeply, deeply disquieting in the sense that you now have to figure out if a computer can be happy. Good morning, and welcome to Clover's Island. How was your ferry ride? I heard it's been pretty bumpy this past week, but it looks like you got here all in one piece. So, we can get started with your day at the park now. Alright, automated responses. You can deal with that. Can I have your name for the check-in? Oh, yes, of course. Visitor? That's pretty boring. Let me give you something a little more exciting to spruce up your day. +2 elixir. How's that for size, huh? The computer turns its attention to the monitor it's sitting in front of. You assumed all that equipment was there for human staff, but it really does seem to be using them? Nothing's happening on the desktop screen, which might not even be plugged in, but it's staring between the monitor and the keyboard as if it's using them, and you're not sure if interrupting would mess up the process. The whole situation just feels a little off. You came in on the morning ship with a group of people, so you can only assume everyone else is getting started with their trips too, but there's an emptiness to the lobby that suggests otherwise. Not just in the literal sense, with you and the computer being the only ones around, but here we go. You're lucky to have gotten a room. Usually we're all booked up with student trips months in advance. Well done. You'll be in room 309, up on the 3rd floor. If the fog clears, the view of the mainland should be stunning from up there. Your luck just doesn't run out, does it? Maybe it's just theming, all the mentions of luck, but something in the back of your mind doesn't like it. Before you head up there, do you have any questions? I'd love to help. No thanks, Bunny Rabbit Computer. I'm gonna get on with my trip. Nothing. All done. Get me out of here. See you again soon. Have a fantastic day out in the park. And good luck. Well, he was rather pretty accommodating. It's easy enough to get unpacked since you only brought what you need for yourself, and the rest of the day is all yours. While there isn't a formal rope drop ceremony each morning, you know a throng of jostling 20-somethings and frustrated children will be crowded around the main gate, and you're not here to get trampled on your first day. Speaking of gates, you could barely see the inside of the park from your brief glance on shore. You weren't expecting this level of density. They're making the most out of their space, that's for sure. When you're a kid, it was nowhere near this scale, and with how rapidly they're growing, it's a surprise they're able to keep from building straight into the water. You consider just walking in without a set plan, seeing what catches your eye and going for it, but then you remember the time you got lost as a kid for 3 hours doing exactly that. Yeah, no, maybe not. Let's pick out a good starting point. Okay, pick is a strong word. This is a demo. You have one choice. Just pretend there's options, okay? It looks like their character actor is going to be near the main fairground area in about half an hour. You remember liking him as a kid, with all that exuberance and flair, and even if the magic isn't quite there as an adult, there's no harm in trying. The main center of activity for the park is its fairground space, full of little games and spectacles to distract you and take your money before you even reach a ride. With the morning rush of bodies, it's warm and bright, and loud. Lights and bells turning your head back and forth. It's easy to see why people long for this. Even with the sky a murky gray, there seems to be a blanket over the island, one that makes it easy to be happy despite it all. You know the magic will wear off once you see how much it all costs, but for now, the crowd just is enough to see someone much taller than the rest. Oh my gosh, it's the rabbit. You remember Clover. You know what his costume is supposed to look like. It's never been the best, not like those big plush creatures from the theme parks far wealthier, but seeing it now in the light of adulthood, it looks trash. Something is wrong. There's an energy oozing off of him that you can't quite place. Something sickly and alive. It's like he's not quite puppeted. There's not enough looseness for that, but the words escape you. It's more like his limbs are braced, hinged, kept steady and in line by something outside himself. He keeps his gestures broad, telegraphed, and smooth, while you'd assume is both to keep up then larger-than-life costume presence and to avoid hitting anyone in the face. The crowd around him doesn't seem to notice as he kneels to face one of the smaller children vying for attention. It smiles and squeals and reaches out as if nothing could ever go wrong. He turns to look at you, and he asks, "What are you doing here? You're a grown man." Like it or not, his attention is yours. I guess I'll just approach him. He seems perfectly eager to talk, and when he turns himself towards you, the group around him mingles and sways at their own pace. They either content to wait or already distracted elsewhere. Hard to tell. "Well, hello! I don't think I've seen you yet. Did you come in with the morning ferry?" You aren't exactly sure how he knows that, but reply or not, he continues on. "How are you liking your visit so far? It's always great to meet new people, especially somewhere so nice. You don't remember me from 20 years ago? Okay, I'm gonna be leaving now. Be positive, he seems sincere, at least partly. Respond negatively, this place kinda sucks and he should know about it. No, I'll be positive about it." That's good to hear. It's hard to be sad in a place like this. With school coming soon, it's the perfect time to let loose and play before the cold comes. I'm glad you're spending that time here with us. It seems odd to you that he'd even mention sadness and cold. Aren't characters like this supposed to pretend life is always perfect? Speaking of, while he's echoing the same tone as the hotel computer, it's not his own. It isn't that he's putting on a voice, he is, but that isn't the point, but more like he's acting through a filter, not just self-censoring, but something deeper than that. Have you gone on any of the rides yet today? I know it's pretty early, so lines should be nice and short. Or were you looking for something else first? I'm just passing through. Then I'm glad I caught your eye before you went off into the crowd. If you hadn't passed this way, we might have never met. We met before 20 years ago, you just don't remember. I know I can't greet everyone in the whole park, so it's always special to find someone like you. You know, it's corny. It's probably what he's trained to say to everyone, and he can't actually mean all that. You don't feel any less flattered, though. It's almost childish how easily you find yourself falling into step with him. It's easy to get lost in it all, huh? With the way he looks around, reverent, even though his mask, you understand. It's tempting to lose yourself in the wave of colors. That's the point, right? To keep you where the temptations are? Maybe it's less fun to be negative. Maybe seeing it with a bit more optimism is easier. You're here for a reason, aren't you? Sorry, I just get so excited. Fix your costume, buddy. I can see a black finger. I have a lot of fun here. So my favorite thing is watching everyone pass through the crossroads, seeing people appreciate all the park has to offer. It makes the hard work worth it. You aren't actually sure what hard work he does. Is there much more to being a mascot than standing and smiling? You're sure there is, but it might be rude to ask out here in the open. The question hits the back of your teeth and bounces in a stumbled sound. It must be pretty obvious what you were about to say, because he seems to consider the question, even though he never actually came out. A veil you couldn't see lifts just along the edges. Metaphorically, of course, because if he were actually an actual veil, it'd be the size of about a dang window curtain. You know, I'm pretty busy today with greeting everyone. Maybe if I could get through as much as I can, I'll have some spare time tomorrow after the fairground. He's not just talking to himself. He waits until you're obviously paying attention to keep going. If I'm smart about it, I might have time to go out to the shopping district and check if anything exciting is happening. I'll have to stick close to the employee fence though, in case they really need me. You nod along, putting on your best face of sympathy. Of course. You know how it is when people need you. Speaking of, you better get going since this crowd is starting to bring their focus back. I hope you'll think about coming back tomorrow. Of course. I spent a whole bunch of money here. With how many questions you have, of course you will. Good morning. I hope your first day was exciting. The weather report says it might be a little drizzly out there, with some pretty heavy fog at the shoreline and over the water. We might not be sending out the midday ferry if it gets too bad, so if you need to go off island, you might have to do it tomorrow. Don't worry though, I'll try to get anything you need delivered right up to the room for you. Before you head out, you can talk about... learn about someone, potentially? Ooh, who? Has someone caught your attention? The actor for Clover. Oh. We don't talk about him. Okay. Are you sure? I mean, yeah, he's tall, but have you gotten close enough to him to look at him? Like, really look? He's so bitter about the suit that he's not really taking care of it. Sure, he looks fine from far off, but, well, if that's what you're here for, go right ahead. Since he's always on the clock, he should be pretty easy to find. Check the schedule for his character appearances. It used to be more complicated when the other mascots were around, but now that he's the only one, scheduling's a lot simpler. Other than that, he's probably hiding out wherever it's quiet. Might not be as friendly when he's not on duty, though. You sure that's what you're here after? Yeah, point me to the rabbit. Still? Really? Why are you making those faces? Your loss. On that note, don't be meek or dumb with him. If you're interested on being real friends, some pushback against his attitude might get him to see you as more than just a guest. Might be fun to see what happens if he thinks you're gullible, though. Give it a shot. It could end up really funny for me. I mean, you. Really funny for you. Well, if you're into him, you might actually like it, so more power to you. Before you head out, you can talk about... I don't really care about all the scheduling for him. If I see him, I see him. Let's move on. See you again soon. Have a fantastic day out in the park, and good luck. Yeah, that rabbit's starting to slip. I don't know about him. He said it's gonna be funny for him. Robots aren't supposed to be making fun of me. He didn't give the best directions, not by a long shot, but it's not that hard to deduce what he meant when the possibilities are so limited. You see the flash of a little green tail disappear into a gap you never would have noticed otherwise. Looks like you found the right place. There he is. Just like he said, leaned up against the rough wall of the alley between merch stores and employee zones. In the dim light, you see his posture is loose, bordering on exhausted, but as soon as you enter his eye line, it scrunches up to something far tenser than attention. It's a beat before you're recognized, and in the time between, you can't be sure exactly what he was preparing to do if you were a stranger. The realization is obvious when it comes. He slumps, the textured brick catching the suit fur to stick him to the wall like Velcro. His sigh of relief is almost inaudible over the noise of the street nearby, but pressed through the thin mouth of his suit, it comes out as a high hiss. Speaking of fur, his suit must be unbearably hot. The wind coming up off the water has started to bring a sharp chill with it. One of the signals that summer has finally been overtaken, but that fabric must be holding him at 100 degrees. For just a second, you wonder if you could feel it through the layer between you. That would be super creepy though, and you already suspect he was ready to swing at you when you walked up, so maybe not. Oh, yeah, I did invite you, didn't I? He still seems pretty out of it, but at least it's in a calmer way than before. Thanks for coming over. I don't really talk to a lot of the other people who work here, and you... He hesitates, and it doesn't take a genius to see he's trying to think up of an excuse. This wasn't very planned out, was it? Seemed like you were curious. I've got nothing to do until the next show, and... He crosses his arms loosely in front of him. I didn't really plan on what to do if you did come. About why he's here, about the character. Let's talk about the character. Oh, first visit, huh? It's not, but interrupting doesn't seem wise right now. It was precarious enough to get him talking at all, and if you stop him, you think there's a good chance he might not start back up. He pulls off the wall, standing with his arms out open in front of you. Clover, mascot of the island, cute little bunny, and all the merch, according to the ice cream bar, tastes like an orange creamsicle. Personality traits include being happy about the park and, basically anything that goes along with that. With a quick turn of the head and a waist to glance at his tail, he quickly adds, "The cute part is a lot easier to get across when I'm actually in the zone. Right now I kinda look like crap." Agreed. There's a beat of silence when you're both unsure if that was a joke or not. It was delivered so casually that it could be either passed off as teasing or taken as a brutally honest jab. Whichever it was, seeing his shoulders tense, you have to hope playfulness is his final conclusion. Didn't the hotel computer tell you to try pushing back against his attitude? If that's true, it's likely he's just processing. Yeah, it'll be fine, right? Pretty bold coming from you. Takes one to, oh, okay, Clover got a little mouth on you, okay. You have no doubt that if he'd been truly upset, you would have gotten a much more explosive response. Jabbing back at you seems more teasing than angry. At least I don't have to wear something brand new. There's a lot more wiggle room in what you can and can't do when your uniform is this. He's not wrong. It's not the highest quality outfit, and looking closely, you can see where it's been repaired several times over the years. The white markings you see on logos and merchandise are there sewn in, but are faded and dirtied so far that they blend into the rest of his pelt. What survives is the darker green, his cheeks and his feet, with his hands a lone bastion of sharp white that flit around when he changes positions. Now that he's not trying to be cute, you notice that he doesn't make the huge sweeping movements of before and instead snaps between positions with unnerving quickness. To your curiosity's advantage, it means he holds still a little more often. What looked like a discolored fingertip out in the main park is actually a tear in the fabric. You're curious, yes, but if he's already tense, it may not be wise to ask about it. I'll just leave it alone. Let's talk about the park itself. If you want ride recommendations, I'm really not your guy. I can't fit on most of them with this head on. By the time the park closes, they're working to shut everything down for the night, and trying to hold them up just so I can play doesn't exactly seem like good coworker behavior. With the virtual put in those last words, you suspect he's been lectured on what good coworker behavior means more than once. I'm not the best educated on the park's history either, but I at least know we've been open since at least the 70s. Clover's been the mascot since the start. There used to be more costume characters. You can still find some of them on the art, but it's been a long time since they made that last appearance. I think that's about it. I pretty much don't care much more about him. He glances over your shoulder, back out into the street, and seems almost defeated. Not reluctant, but resigned. It's been too long. Gotta get back to work. He looks like he wants to walk past, continue his shift, and forget you two were ever here, but that's not what happened. Tomorrow I'll be here again. You don't have to come. It's not like I'll have anything new to talk about, but I guess I won't stop you if you decide to, maybe. Whatever. You should get back to the park. Go ride a ride or something. Eat a churro. Bye. I will do those things. And he's gone. He's already brushed past you and out into the streets by the time his words land in your mind. Well, no matter what you do today, you know where you'll be tomorrow. Right back here. Welcome back! It looks like once this conversation is over, you'll have reached the end of the demo. There's more to do in our few days together, so make sure to come back and try to see what happens. Have you died yet? Have you gone around backstage? Have you kissed him? There will be no kissing. He laughs with a shrill, chittery beeping sound. Just kidding. I don't think you can get that far. Kisses are for people who buy the full game. Anything else before you go? No, I think I'm all done here. Enjoy your trip back home to the real world. Have fun, and I'll see you again soon. Oh wow, that was it. Okay, cool. I thought it was gonna be a lot longer than that, but yeah, that was the demo. Pretty good so far. I can't wait to see the full game, man, because I'm gonna be back and we're gonna play that whole thing.